Hey everybody, welcome to digiBOMBS Versus, where it's me against the world, or whatever I'm up against at the time, and in this case, it is wedding centerpieces, or any centerpiece really, and I'm your co-host, Andy, aka digiBOMBS.
And I'm Kristen.
Let's have some fun. That's right, we're going to be showcasing how to make this, starting from this. You can kind of start off by just getting any wine bottle. So if you're a wine drinker, if you're of the age, you can just kind of use old wine bottles. Or like we did, with her being a chef, we just kind of used some old bottles that they had lying around at the end of the night.
You can get a wine bottle any color. There's blue, white, this olive green color, any color you prefer for your decoration.
Yeah. And so once you have your wine bottle, you're going to want to make sure you empty it out, clean it out, give it a little washing, and then just kind of unpeel it and whatnot. Kind of peel what you can to get the labels off. You can use razor blades. Make sure you're safe with it. Have adult supervision if you need to. Once you kind of have stuff peeled as much as you can then kind of just soak the bottle to get this kind of excess label off, any rough label. So once it's soaked enough, you can kind of go through with your razor and just kind of scrub the rest of it off, or just kind of use a rough rag to get any of the sticky parts, because once you start to do the frosting, you're going to make sure to have it as smooth as possible, because the frosting will show that. So once it's all clear,
you're going to end up with this. Clean, everything's cleaned out, no excess wine, all the sticky parts are gone. Like you said, soak it in hot water, a little bit of soap, give it a scrub, let it air out probably for at least 24 hours at the most to make sure it's 100% dry.
And once it's dry and you're ready to do frosting, we pick up just kind of a glass frosting finish from a hobby store or a paint shop in a well-ventilated area, or outside is what we did. And you're going to want to hold it from about 8 inches away and just kind of do steady sprays around the bottle until it's fully coated. And then make sure it's in a place that is going to have good ventilation to dry and doesn't get any debris or wind blowing leaves on it, because it will showcase kind of any imperfections once it dries. Once you have it frosted, it'll kind of dull out the color. Kind of gives you a little bit more of a canvas to work with without seeing through the bottle. So that way, if you have stuff like we do on the front and the back, it won't interfere with the design. And so once you have it frosted and you want to design it any way you want, we have pre-cut some vinyl using a Cricut machine, but you can also buy pre-cut vinyls of whatever color you're wanting.
Or any stickers. You can always use stencils to use like a little paintbrush to paint your custom design on there, or pretty much do whatever you want. It's your own canvas. Get creative with it.
Yeah. And so we are actually going to be using these for our wedding next year, and that's why we wanted to start early on to make sure we had all these ready. So for ours, we're doing our initials and kind of some flourishes. In this example bottle, actually, we noticed that we had the colors in a way that it's a little harder to see. So we decided to change it up, and we're going to showcase how sometimes doing a first run is good practice to kind of figure out what you want to do.
If you have a Cricut machine and you have the tools, these are very helpful in getting the vinyl off. I have my little O-ring pick here to help pick those up, and a little flat tool to pick it up as well. So we're just going to work at getting them up.
And so you're going to want to just place your vinyls however you want. We are going to do it in a way where the vinyls kind of come together in a smooth fashion. The good thing with these vinyls is if you place them in the wrong position or out of order, you can always peel them back up.
You also have to make sure if you are using a Cricut to get the removable vinyl. There are permanent ones, which I have never used, but I'm assuming that it is very hard to remove if you do make a mistake.
And so you can place these however you want. And the good news with the replaceable ones that aren't permanent, you can kind of pick up and place and move around and get a feel with it. I do recommend doing a practice run like we did here to make sure that you have enough placement for everything, that it's not a little too hard to see. Here it's really kind of condensed together. Everything's kind of flowing, which I realized I'd messed up my A. So I'll show you guys how you can kind of get that up, and it's not going to interfere with the frosting of the bottle. So you won't have to redo that. And so that kind of gives you a little tighter feel for the bottle. So you're going to want to make sure that the size of your lettering and stickers and everything that you're going to be using will be able to be seen from straight on from a distance, and you don't have to kind of wrap the bottle in order to get everything.
Since it is for a wedding, we're putting a little ring decal on. So we're going to hook it on the bottom of the L before we get it all stuck on.
So yeah, you can kind of intermix the decals to kind of go with a style that you want to make it overlay, go over, under, however you want, and kind of have a little bit more fun with it so you don't have to go with the standard lettering. So like this, I kind of just put it over so you get some depth with it. And then in doing so, you have it kind of flip-flop. So we're doing our initials on these. And then to kind of fill in the gaps and have a little bit more fun, we added these kind of flourishes. You can leave it open if you'd like, or like we're going to be placing these just to kind of give it a little bit more direction, gives it some more flow. And so if you're sitting on the edges, you still have something to look at.
And that's the final product for the bottle. Be creative with it. Doesn't take very long. Have your supplies. Just do whatever you feel looks good.
Yeah. And if you'd like to put stuff in the bottles like we showcased here, we'll be doing another video showcasing how to make these custom roses, as well as you can get these kind of fairy lights that you can place in the bottle and light it up. So if you're doing a nighttime or dimly lit kind of venue, or you just want something when you kind of come in the house like here, you have a little bit of light and gives it some nice ambiance. If you feel like a bottle is not enough to fill the space, you can also kind of put some petals around your bottle to kind of give it some more kind of flair, or just kind of make any other circle piece. And something else you can do if you feel like the bottles might blow down or anything like that, you can kind of glue them to these bases to give it a little bit more leg room. So yes, this is going to be the final product you'll be able to go with, and it's really simple, cheap way to get a centerpiece that doesn't kind of cost an arm and a leg and save you some money down the road. Or if you just want to have some fun kind of personal crafts that kind of give your home some personal feel, is a great thing to do. So that's right, we got you start to finish creating a custom centerpiece with fairly cheap materials, and we'll show you in the next video how to spice that up and kind of go a little further with it, so you can kind of build upon your bottle and do some other designs with it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know when that next video goes up. And if there's any other crafts you'd like us to try, or if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comments and we will be sure to get to you on those. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.